Abducted humans are currently living on alien planets.
Think about it. Is that possible? Is it plausible? Well, why couldn't it be? We've all heard abduction stories, aliens abducting human beings. Well, if that's true, if that's the case, why couldn't it be that they would take some of these humans to their distant alien planets? And if so, what would those planets be like? What would the aliens be like? Are humans being subjected to experiments? We hear this often as well. And if humans are on alien planets, are they being crossbred with aliens? And what could that look like? This is a fascinating subject. Now, we're near Area 51 right now, and in the spot that we're in is notorious for countless accounts of strange lights in the sky, UFOs, UAPs, call them what you will. So we're here today to talk about humans who have been abducted by aliens who are currently living on alien planets.
So let's take a deep dive into this wild idea.
Yes, let's. Alien abductions of humans. This topic is fascinating. So we're going to start with that phenomenon itself. Are aliens abducting humans? And then we're going to take a look at what those alien planets might be like. And then we're going to consider what the aliens themselves might look like. Then we're going to move on to the possibility of crossbreeding. If aliens are crossbreeding with humans, what on earth would that like? Or I should say, what on universe should that look like? Also, and finally, the psychology of it all. What would that do to a human being? If you were abducted tomorrow and you ended up on a planet at the end of the universe, what would that mean for your psychology? Would it be good? Would it be bad? Let's talk about this.
The concept of human abduction by extraterrestrial beings has long fascinated and perplexed humanity. While most consider it a topic confined to science fiction and conspiracy theories, it is worth exploring the possibility that if humans were indeed abducted by aliens, they could potentially be living on distant alien planets. Let's delve into the plausibility of such an idea, considering the vastness of the universe, the existence of habitable exoplanets, and the technological advancements of hypothetical alien civilizations. To comprehend the potential for human abduction and resettlement on alien planets, one must first grasp the immense scale of the universe. With billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, the cosmos offers an incomprehensible number of habitable worlds. Among these countless celestial bodies, it is conceivable that intelligent extraterrestrial beings have developed the means to traverse vast distances and explore other planets, including Earth. Advancements in astronomical research have led to the discovery of numerous exoplanets within the habitable zone of their respective star systems. This zone, often referred to as the Goldilocks zone, is where conditions are optimal for liquid water to exist. Water is a vital ingredient for life as we know it, making these exoplanets potential candidates for supporting diverse forms of life. If aliens have indeed been abducting humans, it is reasonable to assume that their motivations would be related to understanding and studying our species. In such a scenario, they might have transported abductees to exoplanets with conditions resembling Earth or possessing unique characteristics that intrigued their scientific curiosity. By relocating humans to these distant worlds, these hypothetical extraterrestrial beings could have facilitated human survival while simultaneously conducting in-depth research. Now, one of the key arguments against the plausibility of human abduction and resettlement on alien planets is the vast technological gap that would exist between us and advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. However, it is crucial to acknowledge that our understanding of the universe is constantly evolving, and our current technological limitations are not indicative of the possibilities that may exist for other intelligent species. Assuming that extraterrestrial beings capable of interstellar travel exist, it follows that they would possess highly advanced technology, far surpassing our own. With such technology, they could overcome the challenges of long-distance space travel, including the ability to sustain human life during transit and provide a habitable environment on distant planets. Furthermore, advanced alien civilizations may possess scientific and technological knowledge far beyond our comprehension. They might have discovered innovative methods of propulsion, harnessed exotic energy sources, or even mastered the manipulation of space-time itself, allowing for rapid and efficient interstellar travel. While the idea of humans being abducted by aliens and resettled on distant alien planets remains speculative, it is a concept that warrants consideration within the realm of scientific exploration. Given the vastness of the universe, the existence of potentially habitable exoplanets, and the possibility of advanced extraterrestrial civilizations, it is not entirely unreasonable to entertain the notion that humans could be living on distant worlds due to abduction by aliens. The mysteries of the cosmos continue to captivate our collective imagination, and as our scientific understanding advances, we may uncover evidence that either supports or refutes such theories. Until then, the idea of human life existing on alien planets serves as a reminder of the vast possibilities that lie beyond our current knowledge and the endless opportunities for exploration and discovery that await us in the universe.
So, Gary, what are the sources of alien abduction?
Alien abductions. Do you believe in them? Well, these stories have been around for quite a while, for many, many decades. And first we should probably consider what that might really mean. Now, an interesting fact about these stories is they're very, very similar. So on the one hand, we could say, well, since most of the stories are so similar, and when I say that, what I mean is they talk about waking up in the middle of the night, being thrust up into the bottom of a UFO, ending up in some sort of a medical room or operating room, being probed, being tested, being cut, chips being implanted, this sort of thing. We hear these stories all the time, and we're often hearing virtually the exact same story. So one could say, well, since we're all hearing the same story all the time, there's got to be something to it. And you could certainly take that tact. The other tact you could take is, well, there were a few stories of this that were sensationalized many, many decades ago, and it's become sort of a part of the public consciousness. So when somebody experiences something strange, their mind makes them believe that this is exactly what happened to them. Although perhaps it's not relative to them, it's just relative to stories we've absorbed into our collective consciousness or subconsciousness. And there is the possibility that some of these folks who have claimed to have been abducted by aliens were under the influence of psychoactive compounds, hallucinogenics.
So what type of hallucinogenics do you think they were taking?
Well, it could be a lot of things, right? So it could be some of the illicit drugs, LSD, could be datura, could be peyote, could be ayahuasca, could be DMT, could be psilocybin, which is the molecular compound inside of magic mushrooms. It could be a lot of things, right? And we must consider the possibility that alien abductions are real, that somehow these advanced alien civilizations are in fact visiting us, are in fact taking a select few of us up into their craft, into their flying saucers, into their UFOs, and are in fact experimenting on human beings for reasons we can only imagine. Now, can you imagine the psychological effect of someone who has been sleeping at night peacefully as they normally do, and all of a sudden they find themselves being thrust up into a UFO onto some sort of a medical operating table?
Ooh, that might be a little frightening.
Horrifying, to say the very least, right? I think that anybody who has experienced this or claimed to experience this and believes that they experienced this has probably been affected in ways that we can only imagine. So, there are many different sources for the possibility of what these alien abductions really are.
The phenomenon of alien abductions has captivated the human imagination for decades, inspiring a multitude of theories and explanations. One intriguing hypothesis proposes that the psychedelic compound DMT may be the source of the perceived encounters with extraterrestrial beings. Let's explore the plausibility of this idea by examining the effects of DMT on consciousness, the similarities between DMT experiences and alien abduction accounts, and the potential implications for our understanding of the nature of these encounters. DMT is a naturally occurring psychedelic compound found in various plants and animals, including humans. When ingested or inhaled, it induces intense alterations in consciousness, often described as profound and otherworldly experiences. DMT has been referred to as the spirit molecule due to the profound spiritual and transcendent nature of the experiences it engenders. During DMT trips, individuals often report encounters with entities that are distinctly alien in nature. These entities are described as intelligent, non-human beings that possess a sense of sentience and communicate with the individual in ways that defy conventional understanding. This striking similarity between DMT experiences and alien abduction accounts raises intriguing questions about the potential link between the two phenomena. Numerous parallels can be drawn between the reported experiences of DMT trips and alien abduction encounters. Both involve encounters with non-human entities, vivid visual hallucinations, and a sense of otherworldliness. Individuals often describe being transported to alternate realms or dimensions, interacting with entities that display advanced intelligence, and undergoing transformative experiences. Many alien abduction narratives share common themes found in DMT experiences, such as the feeling of being examined or experimented upon, encounters with extraterrestrial technology, and a loss of personal agency or control during the encounter. The vividness and consistency of these shared elements suggest a potential connection between the two phenomena. The effects of DMT on the brain offer insights into how it may influence the perception of alien abductions. DMT is believed to primarily interact with serotonin receptors in the brain, particularly the 5-HT2A receptor. Activation of these receptors leads to significant changes in perception, cognition, and the sense of self. Under the influence of DMT, individuals often experience a dissolution of their sense of identity and ego, which can result in a heightened openness to alternative realities or dimensions. This altered state of consciousness may contribute to the perception of encounters with extraterrestrial beings and the subsequent interpretation of these experiences as alien abductions. The cultural and psychological context in which individuals have DMT experiences and encounter the concept of alien abductions can also shape their perceptions and interpretations. Cultural beliefs, media portrayals, and pre-existing notions of aliens and abductions can influence the way individuals understand and make sense of their DMT experiences. Furthermore, psychological factors such as suggestibility, imagination, and the power of expectation can significantly impact the interpretation of extraordinary experiences. The prevalence of alien abduction narratives in popular culture, combined with individual predispositions and beliefs, may contribute to the overlay of the alien abduction narrative onto DMT experiences. If DMT can induce experiences that share striking similarities with alien abduction encounters, it raises intriguing questions about the nature of these experiences. Rather than perceiving alien abductions as literal physical events involving extraterrestrial beings, they could be understood as powerful and transformative hallucinatory experiences, originating from within the human mind. This perspective does not negate the profound and meaningful nature of these experiences, but suggests that they may be deeply rooted in the individual's psyche rather than objective external events. It encourages exploration of the psychological, spiritual, and cultural aspects that contribute to the construction of the alien abduction narrative. The idea that DMT may be the source of the perception of alien abductions presents a thought-provoking perspective on this mysterious phenomenon. The parallels between DMT experiences and alien abduction accounts, the neurochemical effects of DMT, and the influence of cultural and psychological factors all contribute to the plausibility of this hypothesis. Understanding the potential role of DMT in the perception of alien abductions does not diminish the significance of these experiences. Instead, it offers a framework for exploring the intricate relationship between altered states of consciousness, the human psyche, and the enigmatic nature of extraterrestrial encounters. Further research and interdisciplinary investigation are necessary to unravel the complex tapestry of the human mind and its connection to the perception of the extraordinary, and we must consider the possibility that these experiences may not be simply a remixing of brain chemicals. It could very well be that DMT removes filters within the human mind, which then allows it to see or encounter actual entities. And beyond this, it could be that by removing these filters, a portal is opened, which allows sentient alien intelligence to communicate with humans and even interact with human beings. DMT and other molecular compounds could be gateways to illumination and even a pathway to parallel universes or dimensions. Regardless of the physicality of alien abductions, let's consider the plausibility of human existence on distant alien planets.
So Gary, why don't we talk about DMT and how it can be a part of this?
So DMT is dimethyltryptamine. And the human brain naturally creates dimethyltryptamine, but in very, very small doses. When the brain is flooded with dimethyltryptamine, what happens is we enter into what some would call hallucinogenic experiences, trips, psychedelic trips. Now, DMT is a naturally occurring molecule. It's in ayahuasca, a form of it is in psilocybin, and there are many other compounds of a similar nature that we find in peyote, in datura, acacia. These are all naturally occurring molecules that, when flooded in the human system, create hallucinations, create a psychoactive trip, if you will. And it has been suggested that DMT could be responsible for some of the accounts of alien abductions. And hear me out on this while I explain why. In the 1990s, Dr. Rick Strassman at the University of New Mexico partook in a research experiment on the effects of DMT. And in the process, one of the things he came up with is he realized a lot of the experiences that people were recounting when they were under the influence of DMT were very similar to accounts he had heard of with respect to alien abductions. And so what he did was he contacted a psychologist in New York who was talking to people who had claimed to have had the experience of alien abductions. And their stories were eerily similar. Very, very similar to the stories that were coming back when people were under the effects of DMT. And this raised a really, really interesting idea on his part. He then contacted another scientist who was working with NDEs, near-death experiences, and was getting some other stories that were very, very similar to the effects of DMT. And as he researched, and as other researchers jumped into the fray on the issue, what they realized was, and what they learned was, a very small percentage of the human population naturally excretes larger amounts than normal of DMT, and they don't even know it's happening. Now, it's been suggested that that percentage is about 3%. So around 3% of the population will have sudden episodes where the brain actually creates a little bit more DMT than usual, and they don't know it. So it could be that the alien abduction phenomenon is a result of those experiences, and they don't even realize that what's happened is their mind has been flooded with DMT, with dimethyltryptamine. Now, this does not mean that the experience isn't very, very real to them. Because when you speak to people who have been under the effects of these psychoactives, they will tell you that what they experience feels more real than real. It's as if they've stepped into an extra dimension or an alternative universe. And if you believe in multiverse theory, the idea there are an infinite amount of universes, then it becomes very, very easy to understand and very easy to believe. So could it be that DMT or a similar molecular compound, when flooded in the human brain, creates the illusion, so to speak, of an alien abduction? Is that a possibility? Well, we can't really know for sure, but we have to consider that. Even though these folks believe on a profound level that what they have experienced is absolutely 100% true, we have to look at every possibility. And it could be that DMT is what is creating the phenomenon of alien abductions. Now, I don't personally adhere to this idea. However, if we spin off on this idea a little bit more, we should probably consider the idea that if DMT is in fact breaking the barriers, breaking the filters in the human mind, and allowing us to experience things that are very, very real, that are absolutely here, but that are normally filtered out of our brains, that this could be a way that aliens across the universe communicate with us. Consider this, they might not even have to send themselves physically in flying saucers or UFOs to this planet to experience us. They could do so by contacting people through compounds such as DMT when humans have relieved or released the filters that are limiting our ability to see, to experience the real that is out there.
Now, the question of whether humans could be living on distant alien planets has intrigued scientists, philosophers, and enthusiasts alike. While our current understanding of the universe and space exploration is limited, let's explore a compelling argument for the plausibility of humans inhabiting distant alien planets. By considering the vastness of the universe, the potential for habitable exoplanets, the resilience of life, and the progress of technological advancements, we can envision a future where human colonization of alien worlds becomes a reality. The universe is a vast expanse, comprising billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. With such an immense number of celestial bodies, it is statistically probable that other habitable planets exist beyond our solar system. The sheer abundance of potential habitats provides a compelling case for the existence of distant alien planets that could support human life. The discovery of exoplanets, that is, planets orbiting stars outside our solar system, has revolutionized our understanding of planetary systems. Astronomers have identified thousands of exoplanets, some of which reside within their star's habitable zone. The habitable zone, also known as the Goldilocks zone, refers to the region around a star where conditions are conducive to the existence of liquid water, an essential ingredient for life as we know it. Considering the significant number of exoplanets discovered to date, the likelihood of finding planets within habitable zones increases substantially. This raises the possibility of discovering distant alien planets that could support human habitation, providing suitable conditions for the existence of Earth-like environments. Life on Earth has proven to be remarkably resilient, thriving in extreme environments and adapting to diverse conditions. This resilience suggests that life may be capable of adapting to a wide range of planetary environments, including those vastly different from our own. Microorganisms have been found to survive in hostile environments such as deep-sea hydrothermal vents, arid deserts, and even in the vacuum of space. If simple organisms can endure and adapt to extreme conditions, it is reasonable to consider that complex life forms, such as humans, may also possess the capability to adapt and survive on distant alien planets, provided the necessary resources and conditions are available. The progress of technological advancements in space exploration has the potential to facilitate human colonization of distant alien planets. While interstellar travel remains a significant challenge, ongoing research and development in propulsion systems, energy sources, and spacecraft technology are pushing the boundaries of what is possible. Emerging concepts such as fusion propulsion, antimatter propulsion, and breakthroughs in propulsion physics could revolutionize our ability to traverse vast distances in space. As our understanding of physics and engineering continues to advance, the possibility of sending human missions to explore and potentially colonize distant alien planets becomes increasingly feasible.
Is time an issue when transporting humans to distant planets?
It could be. Consider this. If humans are being transported to distant planets across the other side of the universe to alien planets, the speed at which that would have to occur is phenomenal. Whether they're using wormholes or not, it's going to be an extraordinarily fast journey. And in doing so, if we consider Einstein's general theory of relativity, what we realize is that by traveling at those speeds, the humans would actually be slowing down in time. So if a human being traveled at monumental, at staggering speeds to the other side of the universe, and then returned to Earth, they would find that their family and friends had aged insanely, as if they themselves have traveled forward in time. So there are those considerations to make. The psychology of this and the idea of how time would be altered for any human being traveling at such monumental speeds is an issue. And in fact, it could mean that there's really no choice for them to return to Earth. So consider this. So if you've traveled on an alien craft at extraordinary speeds, the other side of the universe, and then you return back to Earth, your experience of time is now completely different from humans who have remained on Earth. So you might return back to Earth and not even recognize our civilization anymore. It could have moved so forward in time that it would be virtually unrecognizable. So knowing this, if a human being abducted by aliens being transported to a different planet knew this and understood this, think of the psychology there and what it might do to a human being. Just that thought alone, just knowing that there is no return, or at least there's certainly no return to anything recognizable, and that everyone you've ever known is gone, might be enough to drive a human being insane.
concept of being abducted by aliens and forced to live on a distant alien planet elicits a range of emotions and raises intriguing questions about the potential psychological effects on the human psyche. While such scenarios exist largely in the realm of speculation, we should consider the hypothetical psychological impacts on an individual who experiences such an extraordinary and unsettling circumstance. What are the potential challenges of adaptation, the sense of isolation, the existential crisis, and the resilience required to navigate an unfamiliar environment? Being forcibly taken away from one's home, culture, and familiar surroundings would likely result in a profound sense of loss. The abducted individual would be stripped of the comfort and security provided by the familiarity of their home planet, causing a disorienting and potentially traumatic experience. The loss of one's identity and connection to their home society could lead to feelings of alienation and a struggle to establish a new sense of self in an alien environment. Resettlement on a distant alien planet would inevitably involve encountering an entirely new culture, language, and social structure. The psychological impact of being immersed in a foreign society with customs and norms vastly different from one's own can be overwhelming. Communication barriers could intensify feelings of isolation and frustration, hindering social integration and creating a sense of being an outsider. The abduction and forced relocation to a distant alien planet would likely provoke profound existential questions. The individual may grapple with their purpose and meaning in this unfamiliar world, struggling to find a sense of belonging and significance. The absence of a familiar support network, combined with the challenges of adaptation, could lead to feelings of hopelessness, purposelessness, and a deep existential crisis. The traumatic nature of the abduction and forced resettlement experience can leave lasting psychological scars. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD symptoms, including intrusive thoughts, nightmares, hypervigilance, and emotional distress may manifest. The constant reminder of the traumatic event, combined with the challenges of survival and adaptation, could lead to a chronic state of stress and anxiety. Living on a distant alien planet, far removed from the familiarity of human society, would likely result in profound feelings of loneliness and social isolation. The absence of human companionship and the lack of shared experiences and cultural references could create a deep longing for connection and intimacy. The solitary existence in an alien environment could exacerbate feelings of isolation, contributing to mental health challenges such as depression and anxiety. Despite the numerous psychological challenges, humans have demonstrated remarkable resilience in adapting to new and unfamiliar environments throughout history. Given time, individuals may develop coping mechanisms, acquire new skills, and forge connections within the alien society. This resilience, combined with a strong sense of purpose and a willingness to embrace the unknown, could foster psychological growth and facilitate the process of adjustment. While the hypothetical scenario of being abducted by aliens and forced to live on a distant alien planet may seem far-fetched, it provides an opportunity to reflect on the potential psychological effects such an experience could have on an individual. The loss of familiarity, cultural and communication barriers, existential crisis, psychological trauma, loneliness, and the need for adaptation and resilience all represent significant challenges to the human psyche. Understanding the potential psychological impacts of such an extraordinary circumstance is crucial for empathizing with the experiences of those who have reported abduction encounters and for contemplating the resilience and adaptability of the human mind in the face of unimaginable challenges. Ultimately, further exploration and research into the complexities of the human psyche will shed light on the profound psychological implications of such extraordinary events.
So, we need social interactions to be human.
Yes. If we don't have social interactions, proper social interactions, we go buggy.
Buggy.
We do. We're getting eaten alive by bugs while we say this, by the way. Okay. We go buggy. Why? Why do we go buggy? Cabin fever, island fever. There are reasons for these things. We need to interact with other human beings. And if we're carted off to some alien planet on the other end of the universe, consider the psychological effects of that.
Ooh.
Unless you just happen to have been born some sort of monumental hermit, some antisocial introvert who literally needs no human interaction whatsoever, you're going to go crazy. So, would the aliens know this? Would they be advanced enough to realize that they better take a few humans with them? And then even then, if they took 10 humans, let's say, who's to say those humans are even going to get along? Right? I mean, seriously, put 10 human beings on an island and leave them there for a while. It's going to be a bloody mess. Right?
Is. Yes, it is.
I mean, look at the show Survivor. Okay, not a good example. But Lord of the Flies, you name it, it's not going to work out really well. So, if there are humans living on alien planets as we speak, those aliens better drug those humans up or something, because they would lose their humanity very, very quickly.
Unless that's what the aliens are planning. Maybe they want to see the psychology of humans. Therefore, they're going to put them at odds against each other because they know how humanity works.
That's actually a fascinating idea, and I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
What if the entire thing is a psychological experiment? Take humans to alien planets and experiment with them in such a way that they can probe and dig out our strengths and dig out our weaknesses, learn our psychology, learn how our politics operate, learn how our interactions operate, good or bad. That's actually a fascinating idea.
So that they can live amongst us. See, they can prepare for that. Right?
Well, that would make sense because they would have to learn our psychology, right? If they had no sense of what our psychology is, then they would be at odds as to how to even handle it. In fact, their interaction with us could be catastrophic here on Earth.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, these are fascinating ideas. So psychology plays a very, very, very important place in this discussion, in this idea of what it would be like if humans are, in fact, currently living on alien planets.
The idea of extraterrestrial life has captivated human imagination for centuries, fueling our curiosity about the possibility of interactions between aliens and Earth's flora and fauna. While the notion of aliens conducting crossbreeding experiments with animals may seem like a storyline from science fiction, exploring the potential risks of such endeavors is essential. What are the hypothetical scenarios of alien crossbreeding experiments with animals and the potential hazards and consequences that could arise from these activities? Genetic manipulation, whether conducted by humans or advanced extraterrestrial beings, poses inherent risks due to the complex interplay of genes and ecosystems. When alien species attempt to combine their genetic material with Earth's animals, the consequences can be unpredictable and potentially devastating. The evolutionary paths and intricate balances of ecosystems on Earth have been shaped over millions of years, making any interference a delicate endeavor fraught with uncertainty. The introduction of genetically modified organisms into existing ecosystems can have profound ecological consequences. Alien crossbreeding experiments could result in the release of hybrid creatures that are not adapted to their new environments. These hybrids may possess traits that grant them a competitive advantage over native species, leading to an uncontrolled proliferation that disrupts local ecosystems. This disruption could potentially result in the displacement or even extinction of native species, upsetting the delicate balance of biodiversity. The Earth's rich biological diversity is a result of millions of years of evolution and adaptation. The introduction of alien genetic material into animal populations could threaten this diversity by diluting or replacing native genetic traits. Genetic homogenization can reduce the resilience of populations, making them more vulnerable to disease, environmental changes, and other stressors, loss of genetic diversity can have far-reaching consequences, diminishing the long-term survival prospects of species and compromising the stability of ecosystems. When alien genetic material is introduced into Earth's animals, there is a significant risk of unforeseen health consequences. Alien genetic material may carry pathogens or trigger immune responses that native species are ill-equipped to handle. Infectious diseases can spread rapidly within populations, affecting not only the hybrid organisms, but also potentially transmitting to other species within the ecosystem. The lack of familiarity with alien genetic material makes it challenging to predict the long-term health effects on native organisms and the potential for zoonotic diseases to emerge. The concept of alien crossbreeding experiments raises profound ethical questions. Engaging in genetic manipulation without the informed consent of the species involved challenges the principles of animal welfare and respect for the autonomy of living beings. Aliens conducting such experiments must consider the moral implications of their actions and the potential harm inflicted on innocent animals. The lack of shared evolutionary history and understanding between extraterrestrial beings and Earth's animals further complicates matters, making ethical judgments even more elusive. In the face of potential risks and uncertainties, it is crucial to invoke the precautionary principle when considering alien crossbreeding experiments with animals. This principle urges a cautious approach, advocating for restraint and careful consideration of potential harm before engaging in novel activities. In the absence of sufficient knowledge about the consequences of alien genetic manipulation, prioritizing the preservation of Earth's ecosystems and the well-being of its inhabitants becomes paramount. The idea of crossbreeding between humans and aliens, resulting in superhumans, sparks a realm of imagination and speculation. While the concept is purely speculative and resides in the realm of science fiction, the hypothetical appearance of such crossbred superhumans living on alien planets is fascinating. By considering evolutionary adaptations, genetic modifications, and the influence of alien physiology, we can delve into the possibilities of their physical attributes and speculate on the appearance of these extraordinary beings. Crossbreeding between humans and aliens would introduce alien genetic material into the human genome, potentially leading to the emergence of novel physical traits and characteristics. These genetic influences could manifest in a variety of ways, including changes in physical appearance, sensory abilities, metabolic processes, and even neurological enhancements. Superhumans resulting from crossbreeding with aliens may possess physical adaptations that enable them to thrive in the unique environments of their alien homeworlds. For instance, if the alien planet has higher gravity, these superhumans might develop stronger musculature and denser bones to withstand the increased forces. Similarly, if the atmosphere on the alien planet is thin or contains different gases, the superhumans may have enhanced respiratory systems or modified blood compositions to optimize oxygen uptake. Crossbred superhumans might possess enhanced sensory capabilities surpassing those of humans. Alien genetic contributions could enhance their vision, allowing them to perceive a broader spectrum of light or see into different wavelengths. Similarly, their hearing might be heightened, enabling them to detect sounds at frequencies beyond human range. Enhanced tactile senses and olfactory capabilities could provide them with heightened awareness of their environment, allowing for superior navigation and detection of subtle changes. If aliens possess unique abilities to manipulate energy, such as telekinesis or energy projection, these traits may be passed on to the crossbred superhumans. They could have the power to harness and manipulate various forms of energy, such as electromagnetic energy or bioenergy, for diverse purposes. These abilities could potentially be refined and honed through genetic enhancements, granting them advanced control over the forces of nature. The interplay between human and alien genetics could result in the emergence of exotic physical features that distinguish the crossbred superhumans from both humans and aliens. These features might include unusual skin pigmentation or patterns, luminescent or iridescent skin, additional appendages or sensory organs, or even the ability to morph or change physical form. Crossbred superhumans living on alien planets might further augment their physical capabilities through the integration of advanced alien technology. This integration could involve cybernetic enhancements, nanotechnology, or the use of advanced exoskeletons. These technological enhancements could grant them superhuman strength, speed, endurance, and even the ability to interface directly with computer systems or networks. The concept of crossbred superhumans resulting from interbreeding between humans and aliens living on alien planets is purely speculative and resides in the realm of science fiction. While the appearance of these beings is subject to imagination, considering the potential influence of alien genetics, adaptations to alien environments, enhanced sensory perception, energy manipulation, exotic physical features, and integration of technology, offers a glimpse into their hypothetical appearance. It is important to recognize that the depiction of crossbred superhumans is largely shaped by our limited understanding of genetics, evolutionary processes, and the diversity of life in the universe. The physical attributes of these beings would ultimately be determined by the specific characteristics of the alien species involved and the unique environments in which they reside. While the concept of crossbred superhumans living on alien planets remains speculative, it fuels our imagination, exploring the possibilities of genetic evolution, advanced technologies, and the diversity of life beyond our world. Ultimately, it serves as a reminder of the boundless potential for discovery and the awe-inspiring wonders that may exist in the cosmos.
Okay, Gary, it's time to wrap this up.
I suppose we should, although I could keep talking about this for hours. It's fascinating. Why not? Why couldn't there be humans currently living on alien planets? I think that anyone who would automatically deny the possibility is being silly, incredibly silly. Modern physicists and modern science are beginning to describe the universe in a way that would suggest that there are virtually infinite possibilities. And if that's the case, if there are infinite possibilities, then there absolutely are humans at this moment living on alien planets. Seriously, really think about that. Human beings, just like you and I, who are living on alien worlds, the likes of which we can't even imagine. Perhaps in the future, with things such as artificial intelligence, AI, which will expand our ability to consider creatively the possibilities, perhaps we'll begin to dial in some idea of what that could possibly be like. But for now, it's just simply fascinating. It's fascinating to consider that possibility. Those experiences of humans on alien planets could be magnificent. They could be glorious. They could be heavenly in nature. And they could be
utter hell.
Right, exactly. A living hell. There could be humans currently living on alien planets that are just living a tortured experience, an absolute hell. Certainly hope that's not the case. But we have to consider every possibility. And I have to say that in producing this documentary and this project of creative possibilities, that it really has opened our eyes, right?
Oh, big time.
To what this could possibly mean. This is fascinating. Humans living on alien planets. Well, we could talk about this for hours. What we probably better go ahead and do, as Tabitha says, and wrap this thing up. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on our next adventure.